All right. Today I have Dan Hawkins, who's the CEO, president, and co-founder of The Human Bean, which is a drive-through coffee chain based in Medford, Oregon. Right, Dan?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for being with us today. The Human Bean was founded in 1998 in Ashland, Oregon. Actually, was the first unit. They began franchising in 2002. And this chain actually did quite well in 2020, not surprisingly, because of the drive-through feature, I would imagine. Their sales were up nearly 20%, and now they have about 128 units. Is that right, Dan?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. So to what do you attribute that growth last year?
Well, I think a lot of it is kind of the drive-through space. I know a lot of the consumers where the cafe spaces were unavailable to the consumer. Everybody really went drive-through. We also had deployed quite a bit of technology, so our guests could actually do the touchless payments using their QR code and their loyalty app. So I think between us having the ability to stay open, as well as the technology deployed, and really focusing on the guest experience, that in combination with a lot of franchise growth too. So not only did we have new franchisees entering them in the system, we also had existing franchisees adding additional units.
So of those 128, how many are company owned, or is it an all franchise system?
We operate 13 ourselves here in Oregon. We're going to be adding a couple corporate stores, but really the primary growth is certainly through the franchise system.
And how many states are you in now?
Oh, I think 18 right now. So the number grows every day. So it's I think we've got development in up to 26 at the moment. So.
Well, tell us a little bit about how the Human Bean got started.
Yeah, it was actually two couples, myself and my wife Rhonda, and Tom and Tammy Casey. We both didn't know what the other was doing. We were old skiing buddies, and so we got together and decided, hey, let's do this together. So we each opened one store ourselves, and then from then on, everything became joint. And like you say, back in 2002, we started franchising, and not because we started out with the intent of doing that, but we just had so many people really come to us and say, how do you do this? What's the magic in the Human Bean? And so, we helped out a lot of people kind of initially, and then it was like, let's see if we can really make this make sense for the group and grow the brand, and it worked really well. So.
Well, there has been another drive-through coffee chain in the news lately, of course, out of Oregon. How would you say that the Human Bean differs from Dutch Brothers?
Well, I don't believe they're franchising anymore. As far as the guest experience goes, it's really it's a taste profile as well as what we do in our roasting process and what they do. They're a great company. We know the founders well. Really proud that they came out of Oregon like ourselves. So, it's just, it's really just, do you like the flavor of our coffee or do you like theirs? And we're proud of them. They've done a great job, and it's just a different flavor and a different system.
Well, tell me a little bit about your menu.
Anything specialty coffee. So obviously regular drip coffee, espresso, plus we do a lot of teas, whole leaf teas. We do have some food items, like either prepackaged, and we also have a heated program now. So, real fruit smoothies. So just really an array of products, in the thousands of different variations of modifiers that can go into our products. So, certainly at the core, specialty coffee. We really lean into the quality of our coffee and how we roast and how we source our beans.
And is it a darker roast coffee typically, or do you have the spectrum?
We certainly have the spectrum. We're really about being smooth and really low acidity. We like smooth blends, and that's kind of our personal taste. And so we don't over roast and get in kind of some of the bitter notes. So it's really just about a really smooth cup of coffee.
So tell me about the units. What size are they typically, and what sort of locations do you look for?
Yeah, about the stores are about 600 square feet, some varying in size. As far as locations, we certainly look for all the check boxes, the traffic counts and the proper demographics. And we're doing primarily single-sided. We really started doing double-sideds, initially. We probably design 80% single-sided now with, order stations and a lot of times dual lanes filtering into one lane. And so both of them work well. Sometimes where we've got properties that in areas where properties are really hard to come by, we can sometimes fit easier a single in a rectangle. So, and we know they're really efficient, and we really like that model.
So it just depends on the location, what works
It
best.
really does, and how it designs, how it best fits the property.
Right.
So.
With the emphasis on drive-through, I would imagine that drive-through locations are now getting harder and harder to find. Are you finding there's more competition for that kind of real estate?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, exactly. Especially in really the emerging markets, and hot markets, they're definitely hard to find because there's a lot of concepts that are looking for drive-through, and a lot of us are looking for the exact same properties. And so certainly that's been a challenge. So there's always available. You just have to hunt them down. They're not the normal properties that have been listed on the regular networks. Sometimes you have to get a little creative.
Yeah. Well, and do you typically have any dine-in?
We do have a couple cafes, but it's really not the model. I'm sure we'll continue to add those, but it'll be maybe 5% of what we do, 5 to 10%.
Yeah.
It's we really like the efficiency of the drive-through only model. That's where we started, and that's where we really we feel like we really excel in that space. So yeah, we'll stick with primary drive-through, but there'll be certain areas of the country or certain areas of a region that that an end cap or drive-through with seating may make some sense.
And we're seeing a lot of coffee chains looking at things like subscriptions. Is that something that you're looking at all?
Subscriptions and drive-through, we really don't do that. You're not talking mail order or something like that?
No. Well, I was thinking about having a rewards program where you're trying to boost frequency, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah. We certainly have a loyalty program. Yeah. So we reward people for visits, and then they get to different stages. So once they get up to platinum, they get a little extra kick. And so certainly it's been a huge part of the human being, and especially being able to communicate with the guest through our loyalty app. So yeah, it's been a win for us.
Yeah. Well, what's ahead for the human being? What do you have coming?
Gosh, we've got about 55 stores that are in development on the short term right now, and probably another 100 plus that are obligated in various stages of area development agreements or something like that. So a lot of areas are being captured by franchisees, and we continue to build our support center staff here. So we're kind of following the growth trend with our support. We'll continue to grow. We're getting really picky about who we let into the system, and we want really great franchise partners that can have a little runway and they can do multiple stores. So we're really picky about who we let in, and we're really picky about locations. This is a lot of work for both ourselves and the franchisee, and we want to make sure it's a really perfect fit. But yeah, there's lots of growth going on, and I really don't see that stopping. So it's a good time to be in the specialty coffee space, and like you say, a great time to be in the drive-through space.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Dan, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it was great to talk to you.
Okay.